Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman, and if I had my way, every day would be the last day that I rode this board because I had a really good time on it. This is the Lost Retro Gun, and it's part of the new collection of boards that Lost just released. The Retro Gun, the Retro Ripper, and several other boards. But this is a Lost Retro Gun, and this is one that Matt made for me. It's 7.0, 20.5, 2.88, 44.75 liters, so just shy of 45 liters. And this was a little bit earlier on in the prototyping of this board. The dimensions were a little bit wider on the guns, and we actually have both sets of dimensions in stock, both the wider ones and the narrower ones. And for East Coast surf, and bigger surfers, the wider ones work really nice since we're wider and the waves aren't super big. So I rode this 7.0 in a few different hurricane swells this summer and then up into the early fall, even though it still feels like summer out. And super good board as far as punchy surf. You could tell from the outline that it's obviously narrower and with a drawn out rounded pin. But what makes this board really easy to surf and really fun to surf is just the ease of surfing it. There's quite a bit of foam packed into it, and you can see that the foam goes all the way forward. All of these boards, both the Retro Guns and the Retro Rippers, have a beak nose, and that does two things. It brings more foam into the front of the board and adds more paddling power, but it also makes the nose thicker, so it's going to be stronger and less likely to break. They're using this dark cedar stringer on the board, strong for braking, but also flexible for actually giving the board a little bit of release out of the turns, just so it's not like a dead stiff brick. And then there's also a reinforced glass schedule. They're using a little bit more 6-ounce in this board just to give it a little bit more strength in critical conditions. As far as ease of use, another thing is being able to put a lot of foam in this board for the paddle and for catching waves, but not having it be like too lifty or too bucky underneath your feet. So this board has a much more flat rail-to-rail bottom shape to V in the back. A little bit of concave in between the V's, but in between the stringer and the rail, but not much. It's just plain V and plain flat. So that moderates the extra amount of foam. So the extra foam allows you to navigate the lineup more quickly, get into waves more easily, but then you don't have the lift of the concave, just making it too lifty. What I found on this board is you got into waves early, you got up on rail quickly. Getting up on rail quickly comes from the narrower width because you're not having to rock like a 21 or a 22-inch wide board up on rail. Having this thing only be 20.5, it just gets on rail really quick, so you're up on your rail, higher up on the wave. You're not falling to the bottom of the wave trying to get on the rail. And having that flat to V, it just rolls the board right up onto the rail. The rails, even though this thing is 2 7/8 thick, the rails do come down quite a bit, like outside the lap, to allow you to engage that rail and have control. And it does have a relatively flat entry rocker. There's a little bit of kick coming out the front, but again, it's all made for paddle and getting around the lineup fast and getting into bombs. So had an absolute blast surfing this thing. Just super, super fun. And the session that I had, we just basically surfed until we were done and out there all day. So had a blast on this one. Matt Nuzzo's also been surfing the 6.6 a lot. Tommy's been surfing the 6.10 a lot, and been getting really, really good reviews, surfing it as a thruster and also as a quad. I had so much fun on the thruster, I never even switched. I mean, Matt's been riding his as a quad. He likes his better as a quad. He's also lighter than I am. He's 170 versus my 215. But these right here are the Futures, the Mayhem larges, and I was riding it as a thruster. So again, it's the Lost Retro Gun. It's a new board from Lost. If you have any more questions about it, you can give us a call at the shop, or if you want to place an order, you can give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or you can look us up online, Real Watersports. .com.